Your brain doesn't believe your affirmations. Here's what works instead: you say the words. You repeat the mantras. You've tried scripting, mirror work, even whispering your affirmations before sleep. But if you're honest with yourself, something still feels off. Because even as you say, I am abundant, a voice inside whispers, no, you're not. Even as you declare, I am loved, your nervous system flinches, still carrying the weight of rejection and past wounds. Even as you affirm, I am successful, your gut tightens with anxiety and the fear of being seen. This isn't failure. This is feedback. It means your words are out of sync with your vibration. And no matter how positive those words are, if your emotional field rejects them, your reality won't reflect them. Here's the truth no one tells you. Your brain doesn't believe your affirmations because your body doesn't believe them either. Why? Because the subconscious, the real creative force behind your reality, doesn't respond to logic. It doesn't care how many times you say something. It responds to what you feel, what you assume, what you emotionally embody. That's why people repeat I am confident but still shrink in fear. Or I attract love, but keep reliving the same heartbreak. They're speaking words the body doesn't recognize as safe or real. And here's the most important shift you'll ever make. You don't manifest what you say. You manifest what you're vibrating when you say it. So in this video, we're going deep. We're going to unravel why affirmations often backfire and what actually works, how to rewire your subconscious using emotional truth, energetic alignment, and spiritual law. We'll walk the teachings of Neville Goddard, Florence Scovel Shinn, Joseph Murphy, and the wisdom of Jesus himself. We'll show you how to go beyond words and start speaking from the place where manifestation really happens. Because when your words are aligned with your vibration, they don't just sound powerful, they become reality. Let's start with the raw truth. You can't lie to your subconscious. You can try to drown it out with mantras. You can wallpaper your mind with sticky notes. You can repeat, rehearse, and chant all day long. But if what you're affirming contradicts what your nervous system believes, your brain hits reject. This is the affirmation trap, the spiritual pitfall that keeps so many people stuck, exhausted, and wondering why their positive thinking isn't working. Your brain is wired to protect, not pretend. The subconscious mind has one job: survival. Its mission is not to help you manifest your dream life. Its mission is to keep you in the familiar, because the familiar feels safe, even if it's painful. So, when you say, I am wealthy, but your body remembers the panic of unpaid bills, the anxiety of scarcity, and the shame of debt, your brain doesn't align with the words. It resists them. Why? Because the subconscious operates on emotional memory, not spoken language. It responds to what you've felt, what you've lived, what you've learned to expect. And when your affirmation contradicts that emotional reality, it's flagged as a threat, not a truth. Affirmation without alignment equals inner conflict. This is why affirmations often feel hollow. You say, I am enough, but your body tenses, your chest tightens, your inner critic flares up. You feel like you're faking it, and your vibration confirms it. Now the subconscious sees a mismatch. Words say one thing, energy says another result. Nothing changes. Even worse, this mismatch creates resistance, a kind of spiritual friction that not only blocks manifestation, but drains your energy. You leave your practice feeling frustrated, wondering why your rituals feel more like rituals of effort than acts of creation. And the more you push, the more your subconscious doubles down. This isn't real. This isn't safe. Abort. What you feel is the real affirmation. Here's what most people miss. Your real affirmation isn't what you say out loud. It's what you say silently in your emotional field. You can say, I trust myself, but if you feel like a fraud, the emotional signal your body sends is still, I don't trust me. You can say, I am loved, but if you feel unworthy of love, the message the universe receives is, I am seeking love because I don't believe I have it. Words become powerful when they are backed by emotional congruence, and that's where true transformation begins, not with more repetition, but with alignment between your inner truth and your outer voice. The trap of forcing a state you don't feel. One of the most common mistakes in spiritual work is trying to force a feeling you haven't yet cultivated. You try to sound confident before you've healed your self-worth. You try to affirm prosperity before you've addressed your fear of receiving. You try to speak abundance while vibrating desperation. This doesn't make you wrong. It makes you human, but it also means your manifestation work isn't grounded in truth. And what's not grounded doesn't grow. It's like planting seeds on concrete and wondering why nothing's blooming. What to do instead: begin where you are, not where you wish you were. If you can't say I am wealthy without inner backlash, try I am learning to feel safe with money. I am opening to abundance. I am supported, and more is coming. These aren't affirmations of desperation. They're affirmations of permission. And permission opens doors that force can't. By meeting yourself where you are, you create space for the subconscious to relax and finally receive. Because when your energy softens, your vibration rises. And now, you're not just speaking affirmations. You're building a foundation that the mind, the body, and the soul can believe in. Are you tired of attracting the wrong people and ending up in frustrating relationships? The truth is, the love you receive reflects the energy you radiate. If you want to build deeper, healthier, and more abundant connections, you need to shift your energy. In my book, The Law of Attraction in Relationships, I'll show you how to transform your energy and attract the kind of love you truly deserve. Stop repeating the same mistakes. Start your transformation now. Click the link pinned in the first comment and dive in. Neville Goddard didn't teach affirmations in the way most people practice them today. He wasn't interested in you convincing yourself. He wasn't asking you to repeat something over and over until your brain gave in. He was asking you to assume the state of the wish fulfilled, to dwell in it, live in it, breathe in it until it felt like home. Neville's core teaching can be summarized in one powerful truth: assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact, and that changes everything. Because now you're not waiting to believe. You're not begging to receive. You are choosing to become. Assumption versus affirmation. What's the difference? An affirmation says, I am wealthy, but often, you don't feel it, so your subconscious resists. An assumption says, this is who I am now. I choose to dwell in this identity, regardless of what the outer world shows. Affirmation tries to overwrite the past. Assumption creates from the end. And this is key, because your subconscious doesn't care if something is true yet. It only cares whether you're feeling it is real. When you assume something, truly assume it, your energy begins to shift. You move differently. You speak differently. You vibrate differently. And that vibration is the broadcast your reality responds to. Living in the end. Neville taught that when you live in the end, you collapse time. You no longer act as someone who's hoping for change. You act as someone who's already there. This isn't about pretending. It's about activating a reality that already exists in consciousness and allowing it to move through you. So instead of saying, I want to be loved, you assume, I am already deeply loved. Then you ask yourself, how does this version of me feel when they wake up? How do they walk into a room? How do they treat themselves when no one is watching? This isn't fake. This is embodiment by choice. And here's what's wild. Your brain will begin to adjust to match the story you keep telling it, especially when that story is told through emotion, imagery, and action. The subconscious responds to what you assume is normal. The subconscious doesn't manifest what you desire. It manifests what you believe is normal. So the question becomes, can you normalize success? Can you normalize safety? Can you normalize love? You do that not by forcing belief, but by assuming the feeling of your desired state again and again, until it becomes your new emotional baseline. This is what Neville meant when he said, remain faithful to your assumption. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency. You don't need to believe harder. You just need to return to the state more often. Because the more time you spend in that state, the more real it becomes internally and externally. This is not wishful thinking. It's spiritual law. When you assume a new identity, the world around you must begin to conform. Not because you manipulated it, but because you've changed your vibrational address. And the universe always delivers to the address you're living in, not the one you're dreaming about. That's why Neville taught people to go to sleep in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Not just thinking about it, but feeling it. So if you want to be seen, feel seen. If you want to be respected, respect yourself. If you want to be free, embody freedom, even in small ways. Every choice you make in alignment with your assumption reinforces it. And every reinforcement rewires your reality. Faithfulness to the state is the real practice. You don't have to repeat affirmations 1,000 times a day. You have to remain loyal to the emotional state of your chosen identity. This is why some people manifest with ease. They're not trying to believe. They're simply living as if. And that state becomes a magnet, not for fantasy, but for reflection. Because your outer world is nothing more than your inner assumption projected onto time. Let's be honest, most people approach affirmations like homework. They sit down, write the same sentence 55 times, speak it aloud with a hint of hope, and then wonder why nothing changes. It's not because they're lazy. It's not because they're unworthy. It's because they're missing the one thing that makes affirmations work: emotional truth. Florence Scovel said, words are containers for power, but power is released by feeling. In other words, the words you speak only activate when they carry the frequency of felt truth. No feeling, no power. Your vibration is the message, not the words. You don't manifest what you say. You manifest what your nervous system believes to be safe and possible. This is why Abraham Hicks teaches. You are not manifesting what you're saying. You are manifesting what you're vibrating. So if you're saying, I am confident, but your energy is still laced with anxiety, or you affirm I attract love, but your core vibration is loneliness and fear of abandonment, guess what the universe responds to? The vibration. Every time. The subconscious is always listening, not to your words, but to your emotional tone. The dissonance that creates resistance when there's a gap between what you say and what you feel. Your subconscious experiences conflict. You declare abundance, but feel unworthy. You speak health, but fear decline. You affirm success, but expect failure. That inner gap becomes a source of resistance. And resistance is not a flaw. It's feedback. It's your system saying, this statement doesn't match our current truth. We're not aligned. The more you try to override it with repetition, the more your system tenses. And now, your affirmation isn't lifting you. It's exhausting you. This is why people walk away from spiritual practices saying, I guess affirmations don't work for me. But it's not that affirmations don't work. It's that disconnected affirmations don't create alignment. Start with an emotion your body can believe. Here's a game-changing insight. You don't need to feel 100% certain about your affirmation. You just need to find a vibrational match your body can accept right now. Maybe I am wealthy feels fake, but I am open to receiving more feels real. Maybe I am deeply loved triggers old wounds, but I am learning to trust love feels honest. This isn't spiritual weakness. It's emotional intelligence. By speaking words that match a believable emotional state, you reduce resistance. And when resistance softens, your energy begins to move again. Now your affirmation doesn't fight your body, it includes it. And that's when transformation begins. Emotional bridge statements. These are the most underused and most powerful forms of affirmation. Bridge statements aren't declarations of perfection. They're declarations of process. They might sound like, it's getting easier to feel safe in my body. I'm becoming more comfortable with being seen each day. I allow a little more love in. I don't have to force it. I can trust this unfolding. These statements create momentum without resistance. They allow you to move from where you are to where you want to be, step by step. Your emotional baseline shapes your results. Your reality isn't shaped by your most beautiful sentence. It's shaped by your most consistent emotional tone. So the work isn't just to say the right thing. It's to become emotionally congruent with the energy you want to live in. This is why someone can say just one sentence, quietly, without fanfare, and see their life change. Because that one sentence is spoken from total alignment. It's not what you say. It's the frequency behind it that determines whether your world moves. So ask yourself, when I say this affirmation, what do I feel? Am I trying to force a feeling? Or am I choosing one I can genuinely touch right now? This honesty is sacred. It doesn't block your manifestation. It anchors it in truth. Are you tired of attracting the wrong people and ending up in frustrating relationships? The truth is, the love you receive reflects the energy you radiate. If you want to build deeper, healthier, and more abundant connections, you need to shift your energy. In my book, The Law of Attraction in Relationships, I'll show you how to transform your energy and attract the kind of love you truly deserve. Stop repeating the same mistakes. Start your transformation now. Click the link pinned in the first comment and dive in. Let's clear this up right now. You're not just speaking to your mind when you say affirmations. You're speaking to your subconscious, and it speaks a different language. Most people think they're doing the work by saying the right things, but the subconscious doesn't care about perfect words. It cares about how those words feel, how often they're repeated, and whether they match your inner imagery. Joseph Murphy, in The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, made this truth crystal clear. Your subconscious mind accepts what you feel to be true. So the real question isn't, am I saying the right affirmation? It's, does this feel like truth in my body when I say it? The answer is no. Then your subconscious isn't recording a new belief. It's rejecting a suggestion that doesn't resonate. The subconscious responds to emotion, repetition, and imagery. You can't reason with your subconscious. You have to reprogram it, the way a child learns. That means, emotion, speak when you feel it. Repetition, speak it often enough to make it familiar. Imagery, anchor your words in sensory visuals. Let's break that down. 1. Emotion. If your affirmation is emotionally flat, it has no energetic charge. That's why whispering, I am safe from a place of genuine relief, is more powerful than shouting it 100 times. with no feeling. Emotion creates a vibrational imprint that the subconscious can follow. So the next time you say your affirmation, ask yourself, what feeling am I anchoring this with? Am I calm, present, open, or tense and doubtful? Speak from calm confidence. Even if it's just a flicker, that flicker is enough to begin rewiring. 2. Repetition doesn't mean blind repetition. It means repetition with emotional consistency. Each time you repeat, you reinforce. Not just mentally, neurologically. Your brain builds new pathways with every emotionally charged repetition. And the more those pathways are used, the stronger they become until the new belief becomes automatic. That's how belief is built, not by one emotional high, but by sustained emotional familiarity. 3. Imagery. Your subconscious processes in pictures, not sentences. That means every affirmation is more effective when paired with a mental image. Saying I am thriving while seeing yourself living, breathing, and feeling that thriving life, that's the kind of communication the subconscious responds to. So as you speak, visualize. Let the scene play in your mind. Add colors, textures, people, sounds. Let it become vivid. This turns your affirmation from a wish into a neurological rehearsal, and your body, your energy, and your reality begin to adapt. Speak like a creator, not a beggar. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is to stop speaking affirmations like you're trying to convince someone, and start speaking like you're declaring truth. There's a tone difference between, I hope this works, and this is who I am now. Affirmations aren't petitions. They're creative commands. The subconscious listens when your voice carries presence, not force, not drama, presence. It hears the frequency beneath the words. So speak as someone who trusts what they're saying. Even if the evidence hasn't shown up yet, trust that the words are seeds, and you are the fertile ground. Affirmation ritual. How to speak so it lands. Here is a simple practice that activates all 3 elements. Choose an emotionally accessible affirmation. X. I am safe to receive. Sit in stillness and breathe. Let your body relax. Calm the noise. Visualize a scene where that affirmation is already true. See yourself receiving, with ease, joy, or peace. Speak the affirmation slowly. Intentionally let the tone be soft but confident. Repeat it 5 to 10 times. Pause and feel. Let the feeling of the affirmation rise inside you. Don't rush to the next one. Let it land. Do this daily, ideally in the morning or before sleep, when the subconscious is most receptive. This is how you don't just say an affirmation, you transmit it. And the subconscious, which has no power to resist aligned, emotional truth, begins to change. There comes a moment on every spiritual journey when the words are no longer enough. You've said the affirmations, you've journaled the vision, you've repeated the mantras, but still, your body hasn't changed. Your posture hasn't changed. Your decisions, your habits, your emotional baseline still reflect the old you. And here's the breakthrough. Manifestation isn't about what you say. It's about what you consistently live. This is the sacred work of embodiment. What is embodiment? Embodiment means you don't just speak the affirmation, you become it. It means your thoughts, energy, and actions are in harmony with the identity you've chosen. It's when the phrase I am confident stops being a sentence and becomes your natural way of moving through the world. This is how real change happens. Because the subconscious doesn't just listen to what you say, it listens to how you show up every day. Your body is always affirming something. Most people are affirming something all day long, just not what they want. When you walk with your shoulders down, avoiding eye contact, you're affirming, I am unsafe. I don't belong. When you hesitate to speak up, delay your dreams, or shrink from love, you're affirming, I am not enough. I don't deserve this. And your body becomes a broadcasting tower for that vibration, louder than any words you speak. But when you choose to move, breathe, and act like someone who is loved, who is worthy, who is ready, you shift your frequency. You start to live from the end. And that's when manifestation becomes inevitable. The energetic role of behavior. Neville Goddard taught that you must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. But he also said that you must maintain fidelity to that state. And one of the most powerful ways to do that is through action. Want to manifest success? Sit like a successful person. Want to feel worthy? Speak with the cadence of worth. Want to attract love? Treat yourself the way you want to be treated now. These aren't fake behaviors. They're energetic rehearsals. And the more you rehearse, the more natural they become. Soon, it's no longer an act. It's who you are. The mirror exercise. Practicing embodied identity. Here's a simple daily practice. To embody your affirmation, stand in front of a mirror. Not to correct yourself, but to connect with yourself. Speak your affirmation out loud. Choose one that aligns with who you're becoming. X. I am the version of me who trusts herself fully. Now adjust your posture. Lift your chin. Relax your jaw. Let your body reflect what you just said. Hold the gaze. Don't look away. Let your reflection meet your vibration. Take one action that day that matches that identity. Small is fine, speak up, make the call, wear the outfit, say no. Each aligned action is a thread in the fabric of your new self. This isn't just mindset work. It's frequency training. Identity before outcome. We've been taught to chase outcomes. But in the energetic world, outcomes don't come to desire. They come to identity. So the most powerful question you can ask yourself isn't, how do I get what I want? It's, who do I have to become? In energy, emotion, and embodiment to naturally receive this. And then live as that version, one moment at a time. This is the spiritual shortcut. Don't wait to become her after the manifestation. Be her now, and the manifestation arrives by law. There's a line in scripture that holds more creative power than most people realize. Let the weak say, I am strong. It's not a poetic metaphor. It's a divine instruction. Jesus, and the spiritual law echoed throughout sacred text, understood something most modern manifestors forget. Your words are not just descriptions. They are declarations of identity. And when you speak them from a place of faith, even when everything around you contradicts them, you awaken a force greater than logic. The power of I am throughout the Bible. I am is the name of God. When Moses asked God what name to give the people, the answer wasn't a title. It wasn't a role. It was a presence. Tell them I am has sent you. Jesus used this phrase repeatedly, not out of ego, but as activation. I am the way. I am the truth. I am the resurrection and the life. Why? Because the words I am don't just define what is. They create what is. And every time you speak them, you are invoking creative energy. So, when Jesus says, let the weak say I am strong, he's not asking you to lie. He's asking you to align. You speak not what you feel, but what you activate. This is where many spiritual seekers get confused. They think, but I don't feel strong. Isn't that inauthentic? No. It's faith in motion. Spiritual law isn't about saying what's currently visible. It's about declaring what's eternally true and watching the visible align with it. You don't speak strength because you feel strong. You speak strength because you know strength is yours in spirit, even if the body hasn't caught up yet. This is not wishful thinking. This is identity alchemy. When you say I am strong in the middle of weakness, you're not lying. You're choosing who you belong to. And the subconscious, which is always listening, begins to reorganize your biology, your energy, and your outer world to match that vibration. The creative authority of your declaration. Here's the mystery that religion, psychology, and quantum physics all touch but rarely say plainly. You become what you consistently call yourself. This is why repeated declarations carry so much weight. They're not about convincing. They're about becoming. So, when Jesus says, let the weak say, he's teaching a code of vibrational creation. You don't describe your limitation. You declare your liberation. You don't wait to feel it. You speak it until you embody it. This is not denial of reality. It's alignment with a higher truth that transforms reality. Every I am is a seed. When you say, I am at peace, I am radiant, I am supported, I am healing, you are not just affirming. You are planting seeds in the garden of your subconscious. And those seeds don't grow because you yell. They grow because you water them with emotion, repetition, and fidelity to the state. Neville Goddard said, remain faithful to the assumption. Jesus said, ask, believe, and it shall be done. These teachings aren't in conflict. They are the same law spoken in different languages. You speak, you believe, you live, and what was once invisible becomes visible. You are always declaring something. Choose consciously every time you say I am tired, I am broke, I am lost. You are not describing your moment. You are building a temple around that identity. And then wondering why you can't escape it. But you can. By changing the declaration. By speaking from truth. Not your pain, but your power. Even if your voice trembles. Even if your hands shake. When you speak from faith, the vibration of heaven begins to move through your bones. That is not performance. That is creation. If you've watched this far, something in you already knows. Affirmations are not magic spells. They're mirrors. They reflect what you really believe about yourself. Not just in your mind, but in your nervous system, your posture, your decisions. You've learned that it's not what you say that shapes your life. It's what you feel while you say it. It's the state you live in. It's the identity you assume moment by moment. We've uncovered the trap, repeating what you don't believe, hoping it will sink in. We've exposed the resistance, when your words and your energy fight each other. And we've revealed the way forward, Speak what your body can receive, build emotional bridges. Not mental fantasies. Assume your new identity with gentleness and devotion, embody the energy. Before the evidence shows up, declare truth. Not to escape reality, but to transform it, because every time you say I am with conviction, you're not just describing yourself, you're creating yourself. You're telling your subconscious, this is safe now. This is who we are now. This is where we live now. And when you stay faithful to that state, when your vibration matches your declaration, manifestation is no longer something you chase. It becomes who you are. So here's what I want you to remember. You are never too far from alignment. You are never too broken to shift. And you don't need louder affirmations. You need deeper connection. Connection to your own breath. Connection to the feeling of being supported. Connection to the truth that your words are holy when spoken from the heart, not from fear. Let your words come from presence. Let your tone carry peace. Let your posture say what your lips haven't yet dared to speak. I am the one I've been waiting for. That's not ego. That's embodiment. That's what happens when your vibration stops begging for change and begins becoming it.